Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Salakia, I'd like to apologize. Lately, I've been having technical difficulties, namely trying to manage the sound on these videos. I think I got it finally, but you may hear a low hum, so I've turned, that's the best that I can do at this moment, but I got to get these videos out. First and foremost, call hello Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Rakawadash, and of course, once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. All right. Salutations go out also to the fellow Akim that are out there pushing the truth on the highways and byways across four corners of the earth, trying to wake up the remaining hope of the elect. All right, here in this video, man, Jake just not learned, and I had not personal experience as far as doing this myself, but I knew someone who did this very same thing. In fact, when I first moved into the place before where I'm living now, we're talking like 16 years ago, coming up, Jake did the same damn thing. I mean, identical. All right. Our people do not listen. They do not believe that, well, they don't believe the history that we have with these devils. As the story goes, this young man he was a ball player down in, he went to LSUE. All right, he was a basketball player there down in Louisiana, like I said. That's bad enough, considering he had an Edomite girlfriend. Yep, so, of course, he, his family knew about the situation, but it's unclear whether hers did. So this guy, this Jake, goes with her to see her family. Her family is from Idaho. We're in Hayden Lake, that area there is a known area for white supremacists, neo-Nazis. The same situation where this Jake that I was living with for a short time encountered the same thing with the girl he met down here in downtown DC at the Verizon Center. All right, for like 3 weeks. So after that, he figured he knew her enough to go on a journey to Idaho, and then after that to Oregon. And I told him after he got back, of course I didn't know he was going, not that it mattered, like I said, I didn't know the guy, but he told me the story afterwards, and I was like, saying to myself, like, you're a fool, you're an idiot. All right, despite, he had just graduated school, got his, degree and everything. I think he was trying to go into teaching like his parents. And I'm thinking, now, do you know how lucky you are, especially when he told me that the girl he met down here in DC, who was from Idaho, have to keep stressing that, when he got there, he found out that, yes, her ex-husband was a neo-Nazi who was in prison. I'm not making this up. This is what I'm... And according to him, her dad was all cool and everything. He doesn't realize, oh my goodness, how deceptive these people are. And he said he happened, despite his father, her father, being like seemingly okay with the situation. And I'm like, dude, you're so naive. He happens to one day look in the cabinets and everything. You see all these medications for like Xanax and shit like that. My goodness, man. Oh. But anyway, they leave there, and he told me they went out to Oregon. You know, I forget exactly where. But, and then he comes back. But he told me also that he didn't call his parents until I think he got to Missouri from here. So, but this guy here, let's go ahead and roll this video of, you know, we bring out these scriptures. We try to tell our people, you know, what the hell is going on. And that includes who your actual enemy is. And this is biblical. This is on a spiritual level. No amount of education is going to get you out of this. All right. You are still in captivity. You're still in bondage. All right. Our people are so caught up in the history of chattel slavery, they actually still believe this illusion is so fantastic that they believe they are free, and they will fight you tooth and nail. All right, if you tell them otherwise. And it's like what I read at camp week before last about this Russian guy that he had proposed that, you know, if a person is so demoralized, and that is Jake, if a person is so demoralized, it will not matter what you show them to be true. They're for so gone, in his word, I'm paraphrasing, they're so far gone it doesn't matter. And that's what this devil has done to our people. You know, ultimately, this is the Most High's work, because our people are still being punished for what we did. We turned our backs. We broke the covenant. And this proves more and more who we are and who those people that are occupying our land, who they're not. All right. Something else we're trying to get our people to understand, but no. They got all these things, all these other cisterns, as Jeremiah 2nd chapter talks, I believe it's verse 11, that our people, these cisterns, of course, represent all these other philosophies and doctrines, you know, Islam. I mean, it's like take your pick. Even atheism, being humanist. I mean, just pick one. Taoism, whatever. All right. Yeah, they're into everything except for what they should be. And this devil has done such an excellent job, because they are devils, they are deceivers and liars. That's all that means. They have done such a good job that you don't want to hear anything, all right, unless it comes out of our enemy's mouth, of course. Well, let's go ahead and roll this video. This young man, like I said, this was a year and a half ago. They're still asking questions, and the big thing was that an autopsy was denied. Young man up there, that lake, Hayden Lake up there in Idaho, is supposedly notorious for, you know, accidents. You know, how convenient. Just listen to the story, you know, here we go.
The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. What up and welcome back. It's your girl Jane, the plainest Jane, and we have some continuous coverage, some additional details that I want to get out to you with regards to Everett Jackson. You know, I've been diligently and very thoroughly covering this tragic situation out of Idaho, although Everett Jackson was a missing 21-year-old boy from Louisiana. He was last seen with his quote-unquote girlfriend, who you see on the thumbnail. His disappearance has been surrounded by a plethora of suspicion and foul play. The details of the family being denied an autopsy in the state of Idaho, we're going to get into that in this video. A very odd text message that Gracie sent Everett's mom before Everett was even located. So Everett wasn't found yet, so he was still technically declared missing rather than deceased. And Gracie sent an eerie text message prior to posting the eerie public message on her Instagram before she privated that. We're going to go over that, and also the strange
That's his Edomite girlfriend, by the way.
and the location where Everett was allegedly found, okay? And also the sheriffs are acting very shady following the discovery of his body. So come on and hit thumbs up on this video. You all know I'm very invested in this story, and I haven't stopped researching it. And this may not be the last update video, because the family is still seeking answers. They are still seeking justice and really fighting to get it. So let's get into this intro. Thank you so much for hitting thumbs up and sharing this video for anyone that you know who has been following this story.
The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I love me some black, and she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
As always, before I get into covering any of my stories, make sure that you check on your mental health. I'm giving you a trigger warning. This is a tragic situation. Click away from this video if you really just are going to be triggered by another black man who has went missing. And of course, make sure you subscribe and thumbs up or down. Either way, I appreciate it. But don't forget to think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. Now, without further ado, let's continue, because a lot of us have been giving Gracie the side eye. Gracie being Everett Jackson's former girlfriend, right? So I want to get into this text message. The mom was able to share this information with the trusted individual, and here's what it is. It says, on Saturday evening, June 11th at 6:45 p.m., Gracie sends Everett's mother a text that seems oddly final when Everett hasn't even been found yet. And Gracie says the following, quote, you and your family are in my thoughts. I have some pictures of Everett I would love to share with you. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to date your son. He was one of the best things that has ever happened to me. I'm so sorry for what had happened. He treated me like a princess. Now, the question is, does this sound like the verbiage that someone would be using if they were keeping hope alive, if they were looking and hoping to find him? Similar to Gracie and what she had to say in the Instagram post that she left, she was speaking in past tense, almost as if she knew he wasn't going to reappear, at least alive anyway. Again, we've been over this last and final Instagram post that Gracie had posted, and it was filled with suspicion, and again, it was filled with the thought that Everett Jackson is not coming home, at least not alive anyway. Just to go over it really quickly, she said, I'm at a loss for words right now. 6/11/22 will be a date I never forget. If your man was missing, if your significant other was missing, why would a certain day be a day that you would never forget? You know, that just doesn't make sense. And she says, Everett Jackson, thank you for caring for me, loving me, and making me feel beautiful inside and out. You're so special to me. You'll forever be in my thoughts, and you'll always be mine. You're a strong human being, and I aspire to have the heart that you have. This isn't fair. It doesn't make sense. I love you, my Evie boy. Give me a sign that you're okay. My boo bear, come back so we can get married, honey bunny. This definitely sounds more like an obituary and a farewell message to someone that's no longer with us, right? And that's something that we were able to uncover in parts 1 and 2 when I got into my thorough coverage on this, right? I want to get into something else that I found to be really interesting. And then we're going to get into something and really pull back the layers on how or why actually the autopsy is being denied. And I'm going to get into some information from a civil rights activist who has been working in close proximity with Everett Jackson's family, right? So it says late Sunday, the Jim County Sheriff, they break news to the world. A volunteer, right? This is person who located Everett's body. A volunteer, not anyone from the sheriff's office, found Everett's body. And again, Everett was found just 2 miles away from where Gracie claimed, well, he was allegedly last seen. And so he was clinging to a branch. The sheriff's deputy tells the family he wasn't going to do an autopsy, and the sheriff says, quote, it wasn't necessary to do an autopsy, right? Just 2 miles away from where he was last sighted, he was found. And I find that to be interesting, and I'm going to tell you why. The family asks to go to where Everett's body was found, and the sheriff deputy won't take him there. Everett's family is confused, they're grieving, and, you know, I just, between a volunteer finding the body just 2 miles away, between the sheriffs literally refusing to allow the family to go to the site, what's the reason for that? It's all public property, right? The actual river. Now, some of the docks, the alleged docks, some of those things might be private property, but I just don't understand why. It's just not making sense, right? And I'm leaving room for you to conspire with what you theorize may have happened, right? Because it definitely seems like you're hiding something, without a doubt. Now, here's the reason why I find the proximity of where the body was located to be very interesting. The Cajun Navy was on this case with the family. The sheriff's office wasn't doing much of anything at all. The Cajun Navy was called, and they came out pretty quickly to assist the family in the search of Everett Jackson, and they are very thorough. And I mean very thorough. And they did a full search far beyond 2 miles. So how is it that he was just found 2 miles away? No one, no volunteer, no Cajun Navy. I'm talking boats, drones, everything. No one found that, and suddenly he's clinging to a tree. It's very interesting because Gracie said he went under and he never resurfaced. So if he's clinging to a tree and he's found a whole week later, you would think they would have then spotted that body, and if he would have passed on clinging to that tree, maybe trying to float, although he was a strong swimmer, you would have think that his body would have been clinging to that tree the entire time. I want to get into how the family was denied an autopsy, because that's the really eerie part. An autopsy is really going to give us far more information than we have available here on the surface from the outside looking in to let us really know how severe was his body decomposed. You know, what was the actual cause of death? This is going to answer some of the questions that Gracie can't answer, or she refuses to answer. So, and again, this is why a lot of people get into the theory that he was put there. That he was put there. It's really, really.
Salakia, one, let me, I gotta grab something real quick. Hold on. Hey, shalom, shalom, I'm back. Salakia for that. I do apologize, I had forgotten my scriptures. Alright, see, these people are full of shit. Alright, they've lied to the family. They all know, being that part of the country is, well, let me show you. That part of the country is rampant. Alright, this is the guy who led, he's been dead for September be 20 years. Alright. Let me just read his bio. His obit. Richard Gert Butler. Alright, was an American engineer and white supremacist. After dedicating himself to the Christian identity movement, a racialist offshoot of British Israelism. British Israelism. Where have I heard that term before? Oh, I know. This came out when the Queen died. Because they think that they are us. That's the British Israelism. Let's click that real quick. Yeah. Is the British nationalist pseudo-archaeological, remember they're saying pseudo, whenever pseudo is in front of something, it's false. Pseudo-historical and pseudo-religious belief that the people of Great Britain are genetically, racially, and linguistically and the direct descendants of the 10 lost tribes of ancient Israel. Aha! With roots in the 16th century. That was not you. Alright. King James was from the Stuart line, which were man. Let's see. I got to put it on pause again. I didn't think it was going to go there. Hold on, Salaki. All right, I'm back. Hopefully this is the last thing I have to get up and retrieve here. But since they went there, I had to go here. All right, this is the book, The Negro Question, Part 4. I believe there's 6 in all at this point. All right. Yes, that picture there with the crown, that's the real King James. He was not an Edomite, or what you would know today as a white man. He was not. That is the real King James. All right. And as you go into this book, all right, you find out that this book and others, namely I have an almanac. Where is it? The Jewish Almanac from 1980, and they tell you in here that they knew that the so-called North American Indians, all right, were part of the 10 lost tribes. They are actually Gadites. They are Israelites. All right, they are not savages. All right, it's Indian. That's what that means. All right, they knew this. But see, this is the thing we're trying to tell you. Jake, who you are, but like as I mentioned earlier, our people, and this was done on purpose, here it is right here, our people are so demoralized, it's to the point where you can give them you can present all the evidence you want. That's the real King James. All right. Now, is that a so-called white man to you? See, all these lies are being exposed. That's another reason why we are here. And that's 2 Corinthians 10 and 4 and verse 5 also. Pulling down these strongholds. What are these strongholds? They're these lies. All right. This is, let me get it real quick. This is Proverbs. This is who you're dealing with. Hold on. Let's go to Proverbs. All right, let's see. Since we're here, I might as well go ahead and get it. This is Proverbs. Proverbs. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. It says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal." This is what pisses them off. All right, that we're not out there with guns and, carnal bullshit. See, they got an answer for that. But this, the truth, they don't have an answer for. They resort to petty shit like taking your videos down, giving you strikes. Well, they don't even do that anymore. They're going back and just erasing content that, they deem, as I said, they deem detrimental. So, because they're planning on doing something else. Trust me on that. It says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai to the pulling down of strongholds." Again, what are those strongholds? 5 answers that. "Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai," which is everything out here. All right. "And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai." All right. See? There you go. Now let's go to Proverbs, because this is what you're dealing with. This man is nothing. Let's see, 26, and let's go to 24. It says, "He that hateth dissembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him." They know they're lying to this people. This is layer upon layer, all right, of lies. And these people know in their spirit that, no. Like she said, no, these people did a thorough search of that area, far beyond 2 miles. All right. So he was cleaning to anything, they would have found. And I have to agree with her. It seems like he was put there. They don't want you to go to the site where he was found. All right. What's up with that? They don't want to do an autopsy. All right. And being what I just showed, let's go back, as a matter of fact, on that piece of shit I was reading about. All right, you know what British Israelism is now, right? All right. It says Butler founded the neo-Nazi group Aryan Nation and will become the spiritual godfather to the white supremacist movement, in which he was a leading figure. He has been described as a notorious racist. Look there, Hayden, where he died, Hayden, Idaho. He's from Bennett, Colorado. All right. Let's see. Piece of shit. All right. Raised in Los Angeles. Oh, aeronautical engineering. He was a member of the Silver Shirts, an American fascist organization modeled on the Nazi brown shirts. Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah. They were in support of Hitler, and Margaret Sanger had something to do with them also. It says, which was active until its suppression following the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. All right. While he was a member of a Presbyterian church, he married, blah, blah, blah. Fuck him. I just wanted to give you some background on, okay, Aryan Nation was, they say, a North American anti-Semitic, I'll go to that fucking word again, neo-Nazi and white supremacist hate group that was originally based in Kootenai County, Idaho, about 2 3/4 miles north of the city of Hayden Lake. There you go. All right. Richard Gart Butler founded Aryan Nations in the 1970s. So this is what you're dealing with up there. See? And you wonder why you're not getting any. Oh man, Jake, just don't get it. Here we go. Continuing on.
There, that he was put there. It's really, really, really interesting. So let's get into what a civil rights activist had to say about this situation. And thank you all for being here this evening. I know that it is a Thursday, it's a weekday, and there's a lot going on right now. But it was definitely my duty to get this information out, okay? Let's get into
Let me finish Proverbs, Salaki, on that. Let me finish Proverbs real quick. Proverbs 26 and 24 again. He that hateth disassembleth. I keep saying disassembleth. He that hateth dissembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. 26. Whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be shewed before the whole congregation. Which goes back to Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy. That's the whole point. And the sad thing about our people don't understand the plantation Christianity as it was taught to us. That's the purpose that it serves. It hides who your actual enemy is. You still believe that bullshit. That's a spell. That's a device that they use. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Let's get that real quick. All right. Man. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, and he has, by using our own book against us. All right. Teaching out of it what he wanted us to know. Don't get mad at this. If you're going to get mad, get at the person that twisted this to suit him. Once again, 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right? That's the problem with Jake. Another scripture in Sirach, it tells you, be not ignorant in any matter, great or small. Let me get it. This is Sirach 5 and 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. That would imply continual study, keeping on top of things, being aware. All right, not just what's going on in your hood, but like what we're trying to tell you now. the things that are going on overseas, all this is going to eventually affect Jake. Hey, Jacob's trouble. But you can't see that. Again, going back to our people being, and I'm not making an excuse, a lot of our people are just wicked. But they have been just beaten down, beaten up, and beaten down. Again, these are the curses, all right? And like that Russian said, they've been so demoralized to the point, you put the evidence right in their face, Salakia, which we're trying to do, all right? But because of these pieces of shit that have been set up in these haunted houses they call churches, and they're, devils themselves, they've been set up to lead you astray. Proverbs 23rd chapter. But you have to know this is the Most High's plan all along. All right? This is a weeding out process. So for you idiots that talk about saving all black people, well, good luck with that. Because first and foremost, who the hell is black people? All right, let's go back to the video.
But it was definitely my duty to get this information out, okay? Let's get into the next piece of information that I want to go ahead and get to you all. Hey, thanks for letting me keep you connected and in the know with what's happening in the black world. Don't forget to smash on that like button for support and for more black news.
Salakia.
Somewhere along the way.
Chime will spot me. They can cover you up to 200.
Used to they would do one commercial. Now they give you 2 or 3. They make you watch this shit.
In the black world. Don't forget to smash on that like button for support and for more black news. When we get into what is going on with the denied autopsy, why, what are the details surrounding that, right? Let's get into this. I'm going to zoom in so that we can read this clearly and it's legible for all of us to go through this together. Now, this is a civil rights activist, and this is something that was actually reposted by Everett family. Foul play suspected in the death of LSU Eunice star basketball player Everett Jackson. Emmett, Idaho, right? Idaho coroner denied request for an autopsy from family and stated they would need to embalm Everett right away. I'm calling all LSU alumni to support the family in getting an autopsy to put his family at ease and give them the comfort in their time of grief. Don't y'all find that suspicious? Also, but in my Dr. Umar voice, y'all don't find that suspicious? Y'all don't find that suspicious that they want to embalm this young man's body right away, revoking the opportunity for anyone to investigate and really find any preliminary causes of death. Y'all don't find that suspicious? I do. But let's continue. Too many inconsistencies in the story told by Mr. Jackson's girlfriend, Gracie, to only go by her word. Also, there was a witness that told a different account in reference to the number of people present. Again, I went over this in parts 1 and 2 in the videos that I've done. There was a witness that told a different account in reference to the number of people who were present. The girlfriend's parents, as well as herself, have sent up fundraisers, right? Remember, I was telling you they set up fundraisers, but here is what someone, again, in close proximity to the family is saying. Although Gracie's folks set up fundraisers, the family says they didn't endorse those fundraisers and they only received a small portion of the funds. What's worse, this isn't the first time it's happened. More details to come as this civil rights activist continues to conduct an investigation. This case should be looked at as a potential homicide until proven otherwise. I called on the state of Idaho to take this case as the town of Emmett, Idaho is labeled as a sundown town, and he continues and says, yes, sundown towns still exist in 2022. So my question to you all is, what do you all think about this situation? What do you all think? It absolutely is suspicious, and
And yet, we can't get a hate crime bill. But you have Moab experiences a couple of months. Well, let's just say a year and a half, because of what Trump labeled, the DVOC 19 as, what was his words? In other words, they blamed Moab for creating it, and they caught all kinds of, people beating them up, and what you give them after that little time, and you have people over here for centuries. And for the last, prior to that, we're looking at 100 and, let's see, when did they get that bill? Was it 21 or was it 22? I believe it was September of 2022. So you're looking at 105 years that we've been trying to. I think the first bill proposed as far as anti-lynching was proposed in 1917. It didn't pass. I forget the congressman or senator's name right off the top of my head, but yeah. And they balked at that for 100 years, and then they finally did something with that. But now the other one that we really need, they ain't gonna do that. And the FBI just released a report that said our people still, by far, experience the most hate crimes against us than anyone else. But since October 7th, they tried to, and you have to listen to the wording at these devils when they say things, because a lot of people like, they're experiencing. No, they had that religious in there. That's totally something different. All right, they're way behind us as far as, they try to use the anti-Sem, which there's no such thing as a Semite. Oh boy, but in any case, let's go back to the video just a little bit more.
A lot of people making a lot of sense in the chat. Isn't an autopsy standard?
Yeah, that's what I
think so, but when a black man goes missing and when a black man passes on, I just posted another story on the In the Know Radio Instagram page of another a man who was actually a father of 3 and was in the military, found hanged in the middle of a park in Pennsylvania on Juneteenth. The cops told his mom, this was a suicide and we're not doing an autopsy. The case is closed. How do you determine that right away? So this is what happens when black and brown folks have an unfortunate situation. The family literally has to fight for basic humane rights.
And you fools out there, it doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican. You're playing that sucker's game, all right? And our people are so caught up in that shit, they both hate us. All right? And you give your vote just blindly for nothing. And this is how you get treated. You get absolutely nothing but scraps with. See, that's the thing about this so-called white man. Since he thinks he's the shit, he is, but not the way he thinks he is. He's supreme, so these niggers keep, there's no one in his eyes over him, so he'll say, well, I've already given you reparations, I've already, I'll give you welfare and all that. And I heard that come out of, what's that motherfucker's name? He used to have that show before he had, oh man, oh shit, what is his name? Riley. The fuck is that motherfucker's first name? Anyway, he came out of his mouth in an interview and said, somebody was making a point that, well, you didn't do anything for these people, and he said, oh, well, we gave them welfare. It's more of you on it. See, that's the thing, because when this topic came up with Kamala Harris, see, someone else, you all fell for it. It's not even your people. And she was set up, all right, just as Obama was, not our people. See, that's the danger of referring to yourselves as black. What the fuck is black? Like the saying goes, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. All right. So she came out and said, well, I'm not going to do anything exclusively for black people, but they do it for others. We are the enemy. We always have been. It's like the people, the upper echelons of society, and they're not the only ones. I don't want to say exclusively them. Other people have caught on. Trust me. But they know who we really are. All right. And, the whole thing goes back to what? Psalms 83. It's in the scriptures, always has been. All right. They do not want us to become a nation again. So all these tactics that they use, that's really at the heart of it. That's what that's about. All right. So these people are not going to get any closure. You can tell by what you heard. Hopefully you can tell by what you just heard that, they pulled one over on these people. Are they going to get any federal help? I saw somebody in the comments suggest that. Do you know the history? I tell you what, there's another movie. If you hadn't seen it, it came out in the late 80s. I believe it was 88. It's called Mississippi Burning. You want to talk about the FBI? And you think, they're going to help us? There's nothing much changed since the days that the time period that movie took place. All right, the 60s, early 60s. So, yeah. And even in years, because I worked in godforsaken areas here in the district over in Southeast, and I work in security, and oftentimes MPD would come around and they would tell stories, back like in the 80s, when all this shit was really wild here, and these police officers were pissed off. You know why they were pissed off? Because they found out that the feds, the FBI, were monitoring and had observed quite a few of the shootings and murders, but they had other things on their mind. And as you're going to see in that movie, hopefully, for those of you that haven't seen it, in Mississippi Burning, that's what these motherfuckers were doing, running around just taking notes while people getting fucked up. So, they got their own agenda, and it's nothing of it has any, thing good as far as our people are concerned. We were brought here to serve slavery. We were not brought here to prosper. All right? Because this place was not established to last forever. Trust me on that. This is going to be an example. This whole America here is a sacrifice. All right? So let's get back to this.
This is really, I was about to use the word interesting, but it's more eerie and it's more disturbing than anything.
Yep.
History does nothing but repeat itself.
Mm-hmm.
Not only was Everett in this case a strong swimmer, not to say accidents can't happen with strong currents. Black folk, we not just out here hanging ourselves. That ain't how we go. But nonetheless, one thing that I do want to bring to your attention, because the family is looking and asking for help, okay? There is another GoFundMe that the family has started. The initial GoFundMe, the GoFundMe website, they can be pretty strict on how they allow people to accept donations. And the original GoFundMe for Everett Jackson, it was for lodging costs and for the family to drop everything that they were doing to travel to Idaho right away. They reached their goal, and due to the fact that when Everett was found deceased, it was closed. They've opened a new GoFundMe, and they're asking for help for the funeral and burial expenses, but also for an independent autopsy and for ongoing investigators. And as a matter of fact, the family released a statement that said something, and I'm paraphrasing, that I saw earlier today, that all of those expenses and all the funds in the original GoFundMe were exhausted from private investigators and traveling costs, so on and so forth.
So they're actually,
they can't just depend on Idaho's system.
yeah, exactly. So they're actually using this, you know, the way they're supposed to be using it. All right. But again, this is how this is set up. It's so sad. You can you can use that for some bullshit and almost get rich, or as these cops have that killed Jake, they actually do. The one that killed Michael Brown, I believe he got $500,000 from that GoFundMe, and the one down in was it Dallas, that went into that Jake's what was his name? He was Haitian. Went into his apartment claiming it was hers. Come to find out they had a history with each other. I believe they tried to, you know, there's quite a few of that have used that. Man, but these people are trying to, you know, cut through the BS when it comes to their, you know, loved one, and they have to go the, like I say, independent autopsy. All that costs money. Yeah, they, you know, it's fucked up, man.
To bring them justice for Everett Jackson. So what I've done is I put the link down below in the description box if you want to donate to assist this family and all that they need to do to give Everett a proper burial, to get an independent autopsy, and to conduct their own independent investigation. Please feel free to donate. It is the very first link down below in the description box, and it is different from the initial GoFundMe because the initial GoFundMe has been shut down, if that makes sense. However, I can say without a doubt, the one down below in the description box is the only one. I've seen a lot of foul stuff on the GoFundMe website. There's just a lot of random people setting up GoFundMes, and some people have donated, and they're not for the family at all. So these are random people trying to grift off of a deceased black person. Really disgusting. So
yeah, they'll do that.
In the description box, it is going straight to Everett Jackson.
Let me see. Is he still alive? He might. If he is, he might be too old because he used to do Michael Bawden out of New York. Let's see if I can remember to spell his name. Yeah, here it is. Is he still alive? Yeah, but yeah, he's damn. I'm fucking 90 years old. July. Damn. An American physician and board-certified forensic pathologist known for his work investigating high-profile deaths and has the host of HBO's Autopsy. Bawden was the chief medical examiner of the city of New York from 78 to 79. He was also chairman, blah, 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 blah. He was also chairman of the House Select Committee on Assassinations Forensic Pathology Panel that investigated the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Bawden's independent autopsy findings are often in conflict with the local authorities' opinions. As such, many consider him to be a headline-seeking physician as opposed to a legitimate source of information. From the Bronx, yeah, he's 89 now, yeah. He also did, he consulted on George Floyd. I didn't know that. But he also did, when they exhumed the body of Medgar Evans down in Mississippi, that was, and they found out that the funeral home, and because of the climate down there in Mississippi, the funeral home had used, about 3 times, was it the potency normal as far as the embalming fluid? And they said when they opened the casket, remember this happened in 91, all right, and Medgar Evers died in 63, so we're talking about 28 years. When they opened the casket, it says it was like he was buried yesterday. Yeah, he's the one that did that. So in any case, yeah, these people are looking for closure. And once again, this is the evil that you have to deal with. All right, the devil, this so-called white man, has a lot to answer for, and he's going to answer. Trust you me on that. All right. Let's see if I had anything else here. Yeah. Hold on. But this is why you should not trust this devil. All right. This is Sirach. Let me get it so you can see it. I'm gonna close with this. Why do you trust anything that comes out of this piece of shit's mouth? Let's see, 19. 26. This is how at you. 1926. There's a wicked man that hangs down his head sadly, but inwardly he is full of deceit. Yeah, he'll pretend to, oh man, you know, I'm sorry. And it's so sad, you know. Either he did it or he knows who did it. It says, casting down his countenance and making as if he heard not, where he is not known. He will do thee a mischief before thou be aware. And if for want of power he be hindered from sinning, yet when he findeth opportunity, he will do evil. All right, so yeah, these are the devils that you do. Again, this has been the case of Everett Jackson. All right, he had him a Edomite honey, and again, didn't know the history of the place where he was going, and it looks like that could have cost him his life. He went into the heart of neo-Nazism. All right. Damn shame. Yeah, that's 51, 52 minutes. Because again, this has to start at home. This has to start because, by contrast, these people, when all this history about how they've dealt with us is coming out, now they want to say, no, that's, our kids don't know all that. Why would you want why should they feel bad about themselves? Because, first of all, I don't give a shit. This is actual history. This is what you did. Habakkuk 2:16. See, the only thing what you're finding out is all this design, all right, to make this devil look good and maintain that image that he is, all right, he's the good guy. All the lies, all right, from the past that helped cast that image of him being this good guy, someone you could trust, you know, why he calls himself or refers to himself as white. Because when you look that up, what does it say? It says, bearing no harm or some shit like that. Yeah, you're right. Image is everything, like they say. But that image, as I read in 2 Corinthians 10 and verse 4 and specifically verse 5, these lies are being cast down. Isaiah 25 and 7. All right, that veil is being lifted, and everybody's seeing you for the piece of shit that you really are. All right, you can't take it. And I keep telling you, there's going to be drastic changes coming soon. You're looking at the BRICS. Remember what I said about Jake not paying attention to what's going on outside of his hood? All these nations are saying, fuck you to the so-called white man. All right, at least to the ones that are affiliated with America. All right, they're dropping it, they're ditching the dollar, and they're starting their own shit. What do you think behind this shit that happened over there in Israel? All right, they want to build that canal because they don't have control of the Suez Canal, so they want their own. So they got to get those people out of that area because of other resources being found. So the same thing they did with GAD, the so-called Native Americans here, you should see that pattern. You're talking about the same people. I don't care what the fuck they call themselves. We're talking about the same people. Hey, so with that, hopefully whoever views this is edified, of course. Again, a tragedy, but damn. Jake will not listen. He thinks that just because those that went, you know, before him that went through these things, that it doesn't exist anymore. Damn. So until the next video, once again, continue to pray. All right, especially now the times we're coming into. So until the next video, shalom. And hopefully the sound is fixed. I will say that.